Here's another question. Someone is saying, is asking about blasphemy. So the individual is saying, I've been hearing critics of Islam say that if you insult the Prophet Muhammad or Islam in general, you're supposed to receive a penalty. And the individual is saying, oh, I've searched through the Quran and the Hadith to see if that's true, and I can't seem to find a conclusive answer. So he wants to know what your take is on blasphemy.
Hopefully I'll give a conclusive answer.
Yes.
Well, I've also searched through the Quran and the Hadith on this question, and I want to first of all lay out a general principle in that for anyone to say that there is a penalty in Islam, they have to have some text from the Quran or something that is genuinely reported from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, or there has to be a clear, reasonable justification for arriving at that and saying that this is an Islamic rule. First of all, there is nothing in the Quran that says that if anyone commits blasphemy, then they should receive a penalty in this world. There are penalties stated for other crimes, but this is not a crime punishable in this life as far as the Quran is concerned. In fact, on the contrary, we see that the Quran shows many instances of people saying blasphemous things. The Quran repeats what they say and replies to those from a logical and reasonable point of view to refute what the blasphemers are saying. But the Quran never says that they should have a physical punishment like in a legal Islamic court.
Mm-hmm. So where do we get this notion that blasphemers should be punished?
Well, it has been reported in some hadiths that the apostate should be killed. Mm-hmm. And that has become like a widespread ruling that was accepted in classical times, and it still reverberates to this day. But now when we come to the hadith, we should recognize that a hadith cannot be contrary to the Quran and still be a genuine saying of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. We should recognize that people have reported all kinds of things and tried to justify their actions by crediting it to the Prophet, peace be upon him. But we should not attribute to our Prophet, something that is contrary to the Quran. If the Quran is clearly pointing in one direction and the hadith in another direction, then this is a red flag. The hadith is supposed to be an explanation of the Quran, a further elaboration. The Quran tells you to do something, and then the hadith gives you more details on how to do it. Like the Quran tells you how to pray, and you want to know, how do I pray now? So you go to the hadith for the details. But you wouldn't go to the hadith for something contrary. Like the Quran tells you pray, but the hadith says don't pray, and then you go and take it from the hadith and you don't pray. Not that the hadith say that, but as an example, you can see that you're not supposed to take something contrary from the hadith. You're supposed to take the details and explanations from the hadith. Now, in this case, what we have is the Quran pointing in one direction, showing that people can blaspheme all they want, and in this life they will face no penalty, but in the life hereafter they will face tremendous penalty. And of course, and even in this life, they will have penalties from God, but it's not penalties that are administered by a legal court or a Muslim body politic. It is not for any Muslim to penalize a non-Muslim for committing acts of blasphemy, or even a fellow Muslim for
because a Muslim could be charged with blasphemy as well.
So it's not for Muslims to do this. It is for God. God promises the blasphemers that they will have a torment and punishment in the life hereafter for the blasphemy, and perhaps even in this life they would receive some punishments from God. But these would be acts of God, not acts of human beings or acts of Muslim courts administering penalties for blasphemy. So when it is clear like this in the Quran that this is how God has left the matter, then you cannot go take the contrary from a hadith and say that this is Islamic law. You cannot credit to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, something that is contrary to the Quran, because that would mean that he acted contrary to the Quran, and this is impossible. The Quran keeps directing the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to follow the Quran, and he was the best Muslim imaginable. If he didn't follow the Quran, then why would we be asked to follow the Quran? So we are following the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and he followed the Quran. By following the Prophet, we are following the Quran. He taught us the details, but he didn't teach us to go contrary to the Quran.
So do you think that people are making the people who have said that blasphemy requires punishment in this life are making a mistake then?
Yes, in prescribing against blasphemy in this world, they are limiting the freedom of speech, and they're proscribing human thought. They're not allowing for doubts to be raised in the open so that we can answer them in an intellectual manner. They're leaving the doubts to linger in the minds of people and remain hidden.
All right, thank you for that, Dr. Shabir. I appreciate your answer.
You're welcome.
That's all the time we have. Visit our website, QuranSpeaks.com, and check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/QuranSpeaks. I'm Zafia Ali. For all of us here at Let the Quran Speak, thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.